Okay, sit yourself onto your left and then come into a good cross-legged position. And have a little wriggle about, make sure that you feel like you're sitting evenly. So have a little wriggle on your seat bones, feel that you're even, and then hold onto your knees. Elevate the heart area upwards. Elevate the heart area upwards and draw your shoulders down away from your ears. Look down at the floor, look at something that doesn't move. Consciously keep your eyes still in the sockets. Keep your eyes still in the sockets. And focus on filling your lungs from the bottom to the top. From the top to the bottom. And with that stillness in the eyeballs, perhaps you observe a sensation of physical lightness. Physical lightness in the brain. Continue your journey of elevating the heart area and draw your shoulders down away from your ears so that the neck lengthens. Release your knees, bring your hands into Namaste. Extend from your armpits into your elbows to give you space in the armpits. Push the elbows in towards each other into the heels of the hands. Heels of the hands up into the fingertips. Keeping your eyes still in the sockets and closing your eyes with an exhalation. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Fill in the lungs from the bottom to the top, emptying your lungs from the top to the bottom. Breathe in more deeply than perhaps is typical without overworking the breath. Consciously breathing into both lungs and breathing out of both lungs. With an exhalation, draw your chin forwards and down to make contact with the chest. Keep the chest lifting up towards the chin. Draw your shoulders down away from your ears. Lengthen from your armpits into your elbows. Just spend a moment to seek to generate a genuine, heartfelt sense of gratitude for something or someone or somewhere. Hold on to that feeling of abundance in the heart area, and then release the backs of your hands down toward your knees, palms facing upwards. And then gently raise your head and allow your eyes to softly open. Just take some deep inhalations and feel how, as you inhale, your chest rises upwards and outwards. So allow the body to accommodate the breath to its maximum. Fill in the lungs, not over breathing, just breathing normally, but just being conscious of the shape of the breath. Take a deep inhalation, and with the following exhalation, turn to the side. Draw the abdomen across, and the ribs and the shoulders. Observing the breath, using each subsequent exhalation to intensify the rotation of the spine. Keep the head looking forwards, but turn the shoulders. Feel where the shoulders are in 3 dimensions. You can't really see your shoulders, so feel where they are. Draw the abdomen across, the ribs and the shoulders. Try and draw the abdomen from the left to the right so that the belly button points at that right knee and beyond it. Observe your body's response to the pose. Is there restriction? Is there freedom? Maybe there's a combination of both of those. So distribute your attention evenly between the restriction or the resistance and the freedom. Gently come back to the center. Just take some deep inhalations and exhalations, feeling the sensation of the breath. Allowing the breath to puff up the chest, to expand the chest, and to contract the chest. Hold on to your knees, lift up into your chest, and then turn to the left with an out breath. Observe the resistance and the freedom. Observe that the seat bones feel evenly positioned, or have you rolled over onto the left seat bone? Draw your torso directly between the 2 hips. Again, you can't necessarily see your hips, so feel where they are in 3 dimensions. And bring the torso between the hips even though you're turning, so that the seat bones become level. Divide your attention between resistance and freedom, and acknowledge that that helps you to quieten the resistance. Gently come back to the centre, hold onto your knees and lift the chest upwards. Again, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. So stay sitting on the lift and then stretch your legs out in front. Grab a belt where you can reach it. If it's in a loop, just take it out of the loop. So stretch your legs out in front. If the backs of your thighs are kind of trapped on the lift, then just shuffle forwards a little so that the backs of the thighs are free of the lift, but stay on the lift. Have the feet about hip width apart to start off with. So it's dandasana, but but on a lift and with the legs apart. Get your belt and then lasso the belt around your feet. Push the feet into the belt and then hold onto the belt. Don't hold it like this. That's a kind of a bit of a death grip. Just hold it between the thumb and the index finger. So hold it lightly but firmly. Roll onto the front edge of the seat bones. Lengthen from the hip into the heel. Pull on the belt and roll onto the front edge of the seat bones. Lift up into the heart area, elevating the heart area up to the ceiling, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. Bring your attention into your legs, tighten the kneecaps. Press the fronts of the knees through to the backs of the knees. And turn the fronts of the thighs inwards. Turn the fronts of the shins inwards so you feel your legs, the calves kind of slide outwards on the floor. Keep lifting the heart area. Keep the shoulders down. Feel the parts of the body that you can't see. So just look directly forwards. Keep your eyes still in the sockets. And through the feeling of the pose, observe the physical body. Observe your activation. Keep pressing the fronts of the knees through to the backs of the knees. Keep turning the fronts of the thighs. Elevate the heart area upwards. Keep the breath really gentle but deep, filling the lungs from the bottom to the top. Exhaling from the top of the lungs to the bottom. As you hold the belt, is there tension in the shoulders? Or can you let the shoulders draw away from the ears? Can you continue to lift the chest? Can you continue to roll onto the front edge of the seat bones? Pushing from the hips into the heels, pushing the feet into the floor. Just cross the belt over for a moment and then raise your arms up. So as you raise your arms, do you lose the legs? So you're looking forwards, not at the body. So feel the body in 3 dimensions. Feel where the thighs are and activate them. Push the fronts of the thighs through to the backs of the thighs. Turn the fronts of the thighs inwards so that the shins turn inwards, so that the calves on the floor are trying to slide away from each other. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Keep the arms straight. If you can bring the arms parallel and keep them straight, then do. If you struggle to straighten your arms, if they're like this, then bring them wider apart until you can straighten your arms. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, lengthening the little fingers to the ceiling, stretching the thumbs towards the wall behind you. As you stay, keep the breath soft. Keep the breath soft. Keep the tongue soft in the mouth. Keep the jaw soft. And then release your arms. Bring your hands back onto the belt. So who'd have thought the sit-in can be so much effort, hey? So push the feet into the belt. Again, activating the legs all the way. Lift up into the heart area, elevating the heart area, drawing the shoulders down. Pulling on the belt, staying on the front edge of the seat bones, turning the fronts of the thighs inwards, lifting the heart area upwards. Okay, and then soften, relax, and then notice that you kind of lose a couple of inches in height. And then bring the feet into baddha konasana, staying on the lift. So in baddha konasana, the classical way to do it is to get hold of the big toes and to lift. When I'm sitting on a lift, I often find that kind of reduces the space in the chest for me, so I prefer to slide a belt underneath the feet and then just hold on close to the feet, but just to give myself more space to lift up into the chest. So give yourself a belt if you need it. Roll onto the front edge of the seat bones. Lift the abdomen up to the diaphragm. Bend your elbows out to the side so that your armpit chest, if your arms are clamped into the body, your armpits can't expand with the breath. So breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. So working with firmness, but not grip. Feel that you can expand in the armpit chest with the in-breath. Elevate the heart area up to the ceiling, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears, just looking forwards rather than up. Keeping your eyes still in the sockets. And then gently, again, relax. Bring the knees in and stretch your legs out. Come down onto your knees. And we're going to go into dog down. If you don't do dog down, if you're not doing dog down, then go into supta baddha konasana. Or you can go back into dandasana, but you might find supta baddha konasana kind of a little more restful. So, just sit, if you're doing dog down, then sit back on your heels. Feel that you are in a good straight line with the mat. And then lift up into the chest. Elevate the heart area upwards. Just come up onto all fours. Keep the heart area lifted. Turn your toes under. Have your hands as wide apart as your mat. Have your feet as wide apart as your mat. And then come up into dog down. Now we've just spent a fair amount of time in dandasana. Activating the legs. Activating the chest and the arms and rolling onto the front edge of the seat bones. All of those same actions apply to this pose. So turn the fronts of the legs inwards, activate the fronts of the thighs through to the backs of the thighs, tighten the kneecaps. Turn the fronts of the thighs so that the backs of the calves, the backs of the thighs broaden outwards. Extend into the arms. The only difference is that the palms are facing
kind of forwards effectively rather than towards each other. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Keep the heart area lifted. Keep whichever pose you're doing, keep focusing on filling the lungs from the bottom, emptying them from the top. If I'm holding you in the pose for too long, then rest. But if you can stay and maintain for a little longer, then do. Step your feet forwards, come up into a standing position. Get a couple of blocks for your hands and bring those onto the mat. Bring your feet as wide apart as the mat. Turn your toes inwards a little. Feel that your heels are on the edge of the mat. Just have a quick look down. Make sure that your feet are in line with each other. Your big toes and are in line with each other along the floor. Have your hands on your hips. Feel that your heel is touching the outside edge of the mat. Feel that your little toe is also touching the outside edge of the mat, even if they hang over the edge a little. Tighten the kneecaps. Press the front of the knee through to the back of the knee. Turn the fronts of the thighs inwards. Lift the fronts of the thighs up towards the hips. Press the fronts of the thighs through to the backs of the thighs. Lift the heart area upwards. Keep the head lifted as you hinge at the hips. As you hinge at the hips, feel the backs of the thighs lifting away from the backs of the knees. Reach down and find the blocks beyond fingertips. So lift the backs of the thighs away from the backs of the knees. Push the fronts of the knees through to the backs of the knees. Lift the backs of the thighs away from the backs of the knees up towards the seat bones. Lift the seat bones away from the backs of the thighs. Project the heart area forwards, keeping the head lifted. Keep turning the fronts of the thighs inwards so that the backs of the thighs broaden outwards, so that you've got more space to lift up the seat bones, to lift the tailbone to the ceiling. Project the chin and the chest forwards, press the shoulder blades towards the front chest. Breathe even deep inhalations and exhalations. Feel that you can see the body that the eyes can't witness. See the body through the feeling of the body in 3 dimensions. Feel where the body is, even though the eyes can't see where the body is. Just stay on the high end of the blocks and map out the physical body in 3 dimensions. Observe the balance of action. Is your action principally on the left side or the right side? Try and make it even. Make the less willing side follow the more willing side. Okay, bring your hands into your hips, bend your knees on the way up if you need to, and then come up into a standing position. And then come up into Tadasana. So in Tadasana, just feel that your chest opens. Feel that you can activate the legs In the same way as we've done in Dandasana, it's the same way as we've done in dog down and in half uttanasana, turning the fronts of the thighs inwards, activating the thighs, lifting the thighs up to the hips, turning the fronts of the thighs inwards. Tucking the tailbone in this time rather than out. Drawing the belly button towards the spine. Feeling that your weight drives itself into the heels. Turn the palms all the way out, rotating the upper arms in the sockets so that the collarbone broadens. Just see the body through the feeling of the skin, through the feeling of the flesh, through the feeling of the muscles and the bones. Listen to the breath. Stretch your arms out in front, interlock the fingers, turn the palms all the way out and then raise your arms over your head. Does anything change in the rest of the body, or can you keep the rest of the body actively acting? Does your weight distribution change in the feet? Can you keep your weight in the heels of the feet? Is the tailbone still turning in? Are the legs hitting from the front to the back? Release your arms, swap the interlock of the fingers, turn your palms all the way out. And again, raise your arms over your head. Be soft in the breath. Gently release your arms and stretch your arms down to the floor. Just breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Just feel the warmth in the chest and in the shoulders and in the arms. Feel that you can distribute that warmth of energy down into the torso, using the breath to distribute it down into the legs. Bring your arms out nice and wide in towards your chest, and then step or jump your feet apart nice and wide with the legs. Extend from the heart area out into the arms. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Turn your your left toes in really steeply. Turn the left toes in really steeply, and then rotate on the right foot, and then swing the hips forwards towards that right leg, keeping your arms outstretched. Tightening the kneecaps. Now you'll probably feel that your hips have been, that back leg hip has been left behind a little bit. So pick up the heel of the back foot and turn it all the way out. Bring the heel down, tighten the kneecaps. Lift up into the heart area. Turn the palms to face the ceiling and then reach up in urdhva hastasana. Keep turning that back leg hip forwards. Turn the fronts of the thighs inwards like in tadasana. Keep that back leg dead straight, tightened at the kneecap, and then bend the front knee. Keep reaching up into the arms, bend that front knee until you find a right angle. Keep turning that back leg, even if the heel lifts of that back leg, extend from the hip into the heel. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Filling the lungs from the bottom to the top, keeping the jaw and the tongue and the throat and the neck soft. And then come back to the centre. Just relax the hands on the hips for a moment. Just take some deep inhalations, some deep exhalations. Observing that perhaps your heart is a little faster, that your breath perhaps needs a little more space. So let the breath settle. Stretch your arms out again, extending out from the heart area. Turn the right toes in steeply. So I'm cheating a bit. I'm hitting that back heel, that back seat bone out a little bit so I can turn. Rotate all the way on the right foot. Bring the hips across. Pick up the heel, turn it out, and bring the heel down so that the hips are level with each other. Keep extending from the heart area into the hands. Keep tightening the kneecaps. Keep turning the fronts of the thighs inwards as you do in Tadasana. Turn the palms up and then reach the arms up and then bend the knees for that front leg. Find that right angle. You might have to creep the foot away a little, but keep that back leg really straight, tightened at the kneecaps. Keep pushing into that back heel. Find that right angle with that front leg. Keep turning the front leg inwards. Keep turning the back leg, front of the leg inwards. And then straighten the leg. Come back to the centre. And then step or jump your feet back together. Come back into Tadasana. Again, just observe your body's response to the pose. So again, your heart rate may have increased a little. Bring the breath back to a normal rhythm. Don't force it. Just allow yourself full, deep inhalations and exhalations. Waking the body up. Raise your arms up and then come into urdhva hastasana. So I just turned just so that I've got more space to raise my arms, but just stay facing forwards, extending from the feet into the shins, into the thighs. Keep turning the fronts of the thighs inwards, tucking the tailbone in, drawing the belly button to the spine, lifting the abdomen to the diaphragm, lifting the heart area up to the ceiling, keeping the shoulders away from your ears. Rotating the little fingers in towards each other, just trying to stretch the thumbs away from each other. Drawing the lower ribs towards the spine. Drawing the belly button towards the spine. And then release. Observe that physical lightness in the skin. Bring your feet hip width apart. If you've got a bad back, you're not going to come all the way down. You can just come forward and stretch into lift like that. So use the hands on the back of a chair or on the wall. Otherwise, have the feet hip width apart. Raise your arms up, hook the thumbs into the crease of the elbow, so bending your elbows, wrapping the fingers around the outsides of the elbows. Keep the heart area lifted as you extend forwards. You can bring the feet a little wider apart if there is resistance. Allow the top of the body to hang down. So this pose of uttanasana just helps to level your energy. It helps to stretch out the back as well. So keep the legs determinedly lifting from out of the feet into the hips. And then release your hands down to the floor. If you're doing dog down, then you can go from here into dog down. If you don't do dog down, then go down into supta baddha. So come down onto your knees and then lay on your back into supta baddha. But otherwise, walk your hands forwards into dog down. Have the hands shoulder width apart and the feet excuse me, hip width apart. And then come into dog down. Just breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. So dog down is good for many functions of the body, but especially good for the liver, activating space in the hips by learning how to use the legs to give yourself that space in the hips. It's really good for stooping shoulders, so it creates space. But it has to be active. If it becomes really passive, then it becomes really heavy and unpleasant. Okay, everyone, come down onto your knees and sit back on your heels. So if you're in supta baddha, just bring yourself up and sit back on your heels. Lift the heart area up to the ceiling. Have your knees wide enough apart so that you can bring the chest forward. We're going to Adho Mukha Virasana. Just feel the energy that you've released through your practice so far this morning. We've worked reasonably intensely so far, haven't we? So we'll slow things down a little. Push the shins into the floor. Activating the thighs. With the thighs activated, elevate the heart area upwards, elevating and activating the spine. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. Keep the seat bones down on the heels as much as you possibly can. Walk your hands forwards. Keep the heart area lifted. Keep the head lifted as you come forwards. That's a general rule for forward bending. Keep the head lifted. Don't try and come forwards with the head. Keep the seat bones down on the heels as much as you can. You can use a folded blanket between the seat bones and the heels if you can't. And then bring your forehead down. So have the knees wide enough apart so you can get the abdomen through the thighs. Keep pressing the hands into the floor really deeply so that you can keep pushing back into the seat bones. If you let go with your arms, just let go with your arms for a moment, and the seat bones are very likely to fall away from the heels.
It will become heavy on your head. So push the hands into the floor. Push the hands into the floor, straighten the arms and hit the heels down towards the floor. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders and then push yourself up back into a seated position. Just observe the energy that you have released through your practice so far. Okay, get yourself a bolster for your back. Have a folded blanket at the end of the bolster just to support your head, and then come down into supta konasana. So depending on the firmness of your bolster, if you haven't got a bolster you can just use some cushions, but depending on the firmness of your bolster, if it's a really firm bolster then you should definitely sit at least a couple of centimetres away from the end of the bolster. My bolster kind of flattens quite nicely at the end, so I can sit a bit closer because it's about keeping space in the lumbar. So if you find that your lumbar gets pinched as you go down, then sit further away. Push the hands into the floor and then lift the heart area. Elevate the heart area up, almost like you're trying to lift the seat bone off the floor, but you're not. Keep the heart area lifted. Lengthen the spine along the bolster, and then have the blanket underneath your head. So if you feel like you were too close to the bolster to start off with, then just give yourself a bit more space. It shouldn't feel uncomfortable. It should feel really nice. So with the bolster underneath you, observe how it really lifts and opens up the chest, how it broadens the abdomen, broadens the diaphragm region, broadens the chest. If your head feels like it rolls back a little, then fold the blanket over again and then support the back of the neck and the head with the folded blanket so that your forehead is at least level or higher than your chin. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, just feeling that you can fill the lungs from the bottom to the top and empty them from the top to the bottom. Gently allow the body to just yield to the shape of the bolster. Focus on the pleasurable experience of filling the lungs from the bottom to the top and allowing the chest to expand with the in-breath
and the relaxation of the out breath. So without overworking the breath, just letting the breath be natural. Just focus on filling the lungs from the bottom to the top, emptying them from the top to the bottom. Acknowledge the abdomen's role in inhalation. Acknowledge the abdomen's role in exhalation. So the abdomen expands with the in-breath and moves in with the out-breath. Aim to breathe into the side ribs, into the armpit chest as much as into the front chest. And try and breathe into the back chest. Try and fill the lungs into the back chest as well as the front chest. So with every inhalation, we draw in the positive energy of the universe into the physical body. Just enjoying that sensation of inhalation and exhalation. Observing how that settles your energy. So we've worked pretty hard in the seated and standing poses. So now we level out our energy with the breath. Bring your hands onto the mat at the sides of you. Push the elbows into the floor and come up from the chest. Come up from the chest. Try not to poke your head forwards as you push your hands into the floor. Bringing yourself up into sitting. Just hold on to your big toes. Lift up into the heart area. Observe the energy that you have brought about in the chest and in the shoulders and in the head. That clarity that comes into the head through our practice, through the focus of breath. Bring the legs into swastikasana or half padmasana, whichever is most comfortable for you. Hold onto your knees, roll onto the front edge of the seat bone and elevate the heart area upwards, drawing your shoulders down. Take a deep inhalation and then with an exhalation turn to the right side, pressing the back hand into the floor or into the bolster, whichever feels most comfortable. Just make sure that you stay evenly placed on the seat bones as you turn. So adjust the position of the torso between the two hips. Keeping your eyes passive. Keeping the breath deep and purposeful. And then come back to the centre. Hold onto your knees, lift up into your chest, and then turn to the left. Just feel the freedom that you create as you turn. Keep the shoulders away from your ears, lift up into the chest. And then gently come back to the centre. Just observe the energy of the body, hopefully the quietness of the brain. And then just to really fully ground ourselves after our practice, just lay yourself down, have the bolster underneath your knees. If your feet are going to get cold, then have a blanket, just cover yourself up, have the bolster underneath the knees or cushions underneath your knees just to support the lumbar. Have the folded blanket in the back of your neck and the back of the head. And then just for the last few moments, allow the physical body to completely relax into the floor. Just let go of the muscles, unhook the muscles of the arms and the legs. Let the physical body become heavy. And out of that heaviness, observe the irrepressible sensation of physical lightness that radiates from the core of the bones and into the muscles. Radiating from the bones and into the muscles and into the organs. Spreading positive light energy into the organs, including the flesh and the skin. Use your in-breath and your out-breath to distribute that feeling of energetic lightness evenly all the way down into the tips of the toes, the tips of the fingers, and up into the top of the head. Just basking in that feeling of energetic lightness. And then when you're ready to disturb yourself, You wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers, bring yourself back into this pose of shavasana. And then bend your knees, bring your feet onto the bolster. Have your feet apart and your knees together. Just resting your back into the floor. And then draw your knees in toward your chest. Have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom. And then gently roll over onto your right side. Stay down for a breath or two. And then straighten out the top leg. Come back up into a seated position. And then just come up into cross legs. With the hands in Namaste, just a final spinal lift. Draw your breath in through your nose and down into the abdomen. Be conscious of the energy that you have released through your practice this morning. That good, positive, healthy flow of clean energy that the extensions and the forward bends and the twists bring to the body and to the mind. And then draw your chin down to meet your chest. Spend a moment to acknowledge the positive energy you've created inside. And then send some of that positive energy out into the world. And then gently release the backs of your hands down toward your knees, palms facing upwards. And then raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully you feel like you've given yourself lots of good, positive energy to put into a good, creative day. So thank you very much for joining me.